I want to cover three root cause movement flaws that are stunting hitters' potential. So this is available in our movement screen area. Um, Here I am with this wonderfully fancy broom. Let me tell you, this thing is supposed to brush dog hair off of carpets and be amazing, and it really is no better than a regular broom. Just so if anyone was wondering. Okay, I'll show you why I'm doing this. Okay, so pelvic tilting is super, super important. So let me show you what pelvic tilting is supposed to look like. So what you do is you take a broom and it's touching my tailbone, my upper back, and the top of my head. And then I'm going to hinge, which means I keep all three of those points on, like all three of those points, we're still touching the broom. And then I'm going to take my pelvis and I'm going to try to, if I had a flashlight on my belt buckle, I'm going to try to point it at my face. Then I'm going to try to point it at the ground. So it looks like this without moving my upper body. So I'm just tilting my pelvis. When you do this with enough kids, you'll realize some kids do not have this system online. And if they don't, they have bat path issues. Okay. So I believe this is Bella. So Bella, in your setup for this, the back was already rounded and you can scoop your pelvis under, but you can't tip it back down. It doesn't go back the other way. So you're coiling it, but not coiling it back the other way. Are the Machados here? Does that make sense? If you can, unmute yourself. I thought I saw you guys hop online. Um, if you are, feel free.
Yep.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yep.
The other thing, as you watch this, it might be hard to see. So I'm not good at the forward one. My pelvis judders. So if you guys like try this, like go get a broom and try to do this, you'll notice it goes. My let's see if it'll show up on camera. But when I tuck it under, it'll shudder. That's tough to see on camera, but I can feel it, and you guys could probably feel it when you're doing it at home as well. The When you're not comfortable having your pelvis in all these positions, then it wants to default into one. So, like a lot of times when you can't scoop it back the other way, you'll end up being too far tipped back or too far bent forward because you're not stable. So, adding in some pelvic tilting control exercises would be something I'd want to do. I'll come back to this kid in a second because I know Bella's folks are here. The overhead squat test. So this is one, and for those of you watching, this is in our members area that I really do think everybody should do. So when clients come in, I have them send in footage of their swing usually first. We break it down. And I'm going to be doing that here in a second as well. In fact, I'll be doing that for Bella. But then after we do that, usually the body will have different motor control issues that when we see swing flaws show up, what's happening is the body is avoiding movement patterns that it feels unstable in, so or doesn't have enough control over. So that's why we do these. So in this one, what we want to have happen, actually, I did them over here. So again, you take the PVC, a PVC broomstick, and I want to be able to see if I can squat all the way down with the heels not coming off the ground. Here, I'm blocking that. So heels don't come off the ground. While I squat all the way down while the bar does not come in front of my knees. Okay. So my right heels are in the ground. The left sides come up. That's not the point. The point is like Bella's over here. She's doing it and the heels are coming way off the ground, like where I could keep the right side of mine on the ground. So we do this, and what then happens, what story this tells us is either you have an ankle mobility issue. And so if that's the case, you want to do this test right here. You put a broom 4 inches in front of your toe, and can you rock forward to touch it with your knee while your heel stays on the ground? So what happens is the soleus is that muscle that's right underneath the Achilles, part of the calf, and it gets tight on some people. And if it is too tight, then you will have a hitter that cannot do this movement. That is one thing that happens. The other one is you have a bad hinging pattern. So the hinge is what I was doing with that PVC pipe where I put all three down and bend over as it maintains contact. When we take away the bar and we ask her to go down. She's getting to level, but she can't go further than that. When she tries to go deeper, she falls out of it. So I don't know if it's an ankle mobility issue or if it's a hinging issue or if it's a both, but there's something in there that is stopping it. The other part that we test for with the bar over the head, and the reason that we do the bar over the head is if we have any stiffness in the upper T-spine. Usually with young kids, we don't, but you will get some with the older kids. You will also get some with overweight kids that they don't have enough mobility in their upper back. So those are issues that I see. Do I have another one for her? That's not, I don't for the movement. Any questions on her movement? I'll be sending her, and in a second here, I'm going to break down her swing and show you how I do that. And we'll pick some drills for her. And I will pair those with movement exercises that will help address some of those things so that every workout she's doing some hinging work, she's doing maybe some ankle mobility work and those sorts of things. But any questions on how to break that down?
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and standing up out of the swing is a swing flaw that'll happen when you have those ankle mobility issues. So, okay, perfect. All right. Since I got you right here, I'll come back actually. Um, okay, so here's an example of a kid doing a pelvic tilt test. Um, and he can't move his pelvis. So he needs to he's just raising his upper back. The feeling of how to tilt it forward and backward. There he goes. He goes forward, but you can see there's a lot of movement. So there's just a way less control of what his pelvis can do than the way that I was doing it. The other one that you see is right here. You need to be able to move. Apparently, I filmed this in 7 pixels on the right, but I can keep my upper body straight and move my lower half independently. And this kid struggles with that. So he's moving his upper body and lower body in the same way instead of learning how to, it's called disassociate them. So that's something that's going to show up in his drill work. That's going to be hard for him to do moves like when we want our hands to be going up and back while our hips are opening. If we can't do this move, I can give you the best drills in the world, but it's not going to work if we don't have the underlining ability to move our upper body and lower body independently of each other. So we want to give you exercises every day before you hit. You're just touching on those systems. So that's what we're trying to do there. So and just to remind you, like those are, I talk a lot about the 7 categories of movement that you want your kids to know how to do before puberty hits because it becomes really hard to learn them if you wait too long. So it's not like you can't ever, but it gets harder. It's like learning a new language. Like the windows of learning, they're just easiest when you're young. So that's what I see in some of those movement screens. Any questions from anybody on any of that movement stuff before I move on?